Hey everybody, it's me, Jake from Jake and Off. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. This week, I am joined by a very special guest, my good friend and filmmaker, Zach Huber, everybody. Give him a round of applause. Let him hear it. Give it up for Zach. You can find Zach and his film work on Zach and Austin Make Movies on YouTube. And you can check out his recent release of his new film. It's doing pretty well. What's it called, Zach?
Deceive to Achieve.
Deceive to Achieve. So make sure you check that out. There will be a link in the description. And as always, you can find this podcast at jakeand.off.podcast on TikTok, Instagram, that kind of shit. And you can send anything at all to jakeand.off.podcast@gmail.com. I'll look at it at least once. That's a Jake and Off guarantee. You know it. You know the guarantee.
More people should take advantage of that.
Yeah, more people should take advantage of it. Send me something I want to see. But without further ado, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode, and have a good listen to the episode.
Oh, won't you take off with me? Oh, I know it's your fantasy. Oh, won't you take off with me? Yeah, we're taking off every week.
Joe and I, we go to a Waffle House, right? We get to this Waffle House, and I order some food, and I ordered like an extra order of hash browns, and I was like, yeah, I want like, I want them like diced and cubed or whatever.
Smothered.
Yeah, like I'm like ordering like Waffle House hash browns, and I had gotten like a breakfast bowl scrambler or whatever. I was hungry, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a big dog. Big dogs gotta eat.
Woof.
And dude, this lady was like, that was our waitress, just goes, well, why don't you just like get triple hash browns and put it all in the bowl? Like as if it was like a totally normal thing that people do all the time, And it was like, I was like, that doesn't, I wasn't wanting triple hash browns. Like I just thought like double hash browns.
She wanted that for you.
And then she was like, I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, if that's like what she was like, yeah. And then basically, dude, what transpired after that is like these Waffle House employees like totally fat shamed me the entire meal that I had there. She's basically, it was like, she suggested it, and after I was like, yeah, that sounds good, she was like, oh, that is disgusting. She's like, okay, I mean, if that's what you really want. She's just like writing like
she goes back to the employees.
hog,
She's like,
dude.
you're never gonna believe what this fat ass just ordered.
No, I'm not even kidding, dude. You think it's a joke, but she fucking, dude, the cook, when she brought over the food, normally the waitress brings over the food. The cook walks behind her and was like, I just wanted to see you for myself.
Jesus Christ.
She's like, oh my God.
I wanted to see who's gonna run through this triple order of hash.
Dude, I can't even remember exactly what she said. It was so offensive. It was
wild.
seriously, Joe and I were cracking up. We were dying laughing because it was like you couldn't have like scripted like these ladies just completely shitting on me for like ordering too much food. It was crazy.
It's kind of the glory of Waffle House is that the kitchen is open concept, so you could just hear them saying whatever they want about you, but they're not going to stop saying it.
She walked over. Well, that is true, dude. When the waitress like gave the cook the order, the cook was like, "Really? Who would order that? Like, why? Why would you do that?"
She's like, I don't know. This guy's really, really fat.
She suggested it. And dude, when the cook was like over there, she's like, "That's a hefty meal for a hefty boy." That's what she said. Those were the exact words that she said about me, dude. It was fucked up.
She needed to laugh that night, dude. She needed to tear somebody down.
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm. She sure did.
She was bored.
This actually kind of works well as a transition because our subject of today is a bit of a massive person. Zach, let me just get I want to get a baseline reading on what are your feelings and opinions on aliens?
Oh man, I got a lot of them. I actually was just reading my Aunt Debbie. She loves like facts, so my sister got her like a big book of facts.
Just facts.
Okay,
she's
explain a little
crazy
bit more.
for facts. She used to like, it was like kind of a joke amongst us and all our friends because she would like take Snapple facts and she would send it to us incessantly. She was always texting us Snapple facts. Like I'll never forget like. Mangoes are $76 in Japan, you know, a Miyazaki mango. She would like send us little facts like that. So my sister was like, greatest Christmas gift ever. I'm going to get her a fact book. Mm-hmm. So she got her one and she was like, here, you should read this when I came over. There's so many alien facts I did not know about it.
Wow.
For instance, they saw aliens on the moon landing during the Apollo 11 mission, apparently, and it was not recorded because the broadcast just happened to cut out.
Okay, this doesn't
just
sound like
happened to
a
cut
fact
out.
at all, dude.
It was read as a fact. Have you heard of the Battle of Los
What
Angeles?
fact book is this?
This is a fact, though. Have you heard of the Battle of Los Angeles? Because I had not heard of
No,
this.
what is this?
So apparently during World War II, a bunch of like unidentified flying objects flew into and over Los Angeles, and they were like, cut the lights of the city. We don't want them to see where homes are and stuff so they can bomb them. Because back then, Los Angeles was way more spread out than it is. It's not like it is now. And so they cut off all the lights in the city, and everybody's like staring up at these like massive hovering objects that are flying in the air, and they bombard them with missiles. They're like shooting like 40 missiles at them. They withstand all the bombardment and then just fly off back from where they came from. And it's called the Battle of Los Angeles.
Okay, dude, what is this fact book? This is crazy.
I'm gonna look up this
I'm
Battle
just
of Los
saying.
Angeles.
I'm just saying. Okay, little fishy. I used to live in New Mexico, so I kind of love alien facts.
Well, here's the thing, dude, is so we're going to get into it. Mm-hmm. But I discovered this lady who is a bit of an alien influencer.
Okay.
And I figured we'd do a deep dive on her.
Let's deep in. Let's get deep.
You know, we're going to get into what she believes. We're going to get into some basic alien science, past civilization on Earth.
This is my kind of alien theories. I love.
We're going to talk about it. Eventually we're going to get around to the official Jakenoff stance on aliens.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then
I think I can already tell your official stance based on how you received my facts earlier.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me what you think my official stance is, dude.
I think you're a poo-pooer. I think you're an alien poo-pooer.
I think you're going to be. I think that it's a little bit more nuanced than that.
I think that you think that aliens are like these beautiful little like blonde-haired people that come down and they're like,
you're wrong.
I will grace you with my presence.
Actually couldn't be more wrong.
Oh, you think they're like ugly, hideous?
That's what this lady
reptile
is like.
lords. Oh, she thinks that,
dude. Okay, so
there's different versions of aliens.
Yeah, I know. I think that it's time to introduce you.
Okay.
To a little lady named Victoria Whitney.
Oh.
Here she is.
Nice.
Now, what's the first thing you notice about this lady?
She is rocking a thick Cuban link. It is just shiny.
I actually think that might be part of her uniform. We'll see that a little bit closer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In
Is she
some other
unit
shops.
You've got me quite a low res JPEG.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like,
it's not very high res. There's not a lot of high res images of this lady.
That's
if
very
you can
honestly
imagine.
Occultist of her to not have a lot of high resolution images.
So the way that I was introduced to her was through an Instagram reel because, you know, dude, I have probably the most melted algorithm that one could possibly cultivate.
Based.
You've got the Jakenoff algorithm.
The Jakenoff algorithm is pretty twisted, dude. And so this is the first place that I saw her. This is on a page called Gaia Unexplained. And what Gaia is Gaia is a TV network on YouTube. You're familiar?
Oh, I know Gaia.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This is actually amazing. Okay, so here we go.
I was subscribed to Gaia for a while.
Here's her. This is her being interviewed by a man named Emery Smith. So this is what she's got to say. Oh, well, you got to start it at the beginning, Jake. What are you doing?
Okay, how to save
one gift that humans possess is the ability to think outside the box. And it's because we were never in the box to begin with. I mean, we've lived on this planet through many, many different ages of trial and error. And so by now we should know enough to say we know what's important. And it is the value of life. We need to stop fighting each other and start remembering that there's a greater evil coming that we're going to have to probably stand up against and fight. We really need to stop being the paranoid human
Right.
and start being who we really are, which is we're strong, we're confident.
Can't cage us. They tried.
Exactly. We're like wild nature,
Yes.
okay? And so I think that's what it's going to take to conquer this, is something that can come along and say, but what if? And if we don't stand up and answer that call, then we failed humanity.
Okay, so obviously the moment where you laughed was the big side
big
profile
reveal?
of this lady. She is, and I mean, I think that this is accurate. Like, she's a very large lady, very large white lady with
Whoa.
Whoa. You did not realize she was white.
I had no clue. With a dumper like that, dude? Now that's Ozempic butt. We were talking about Ozempic butt earlier, dude. There's all kinds of things up in that.
Dude, but
That's a butt you could get things lost in. You know, you could like find it a couple weeks later, you know?
Dude, yeah, she is seemingly all ass.
Yeah. All up and down, dude.
But she is also she's Victoria Whitney. She is the head of an organization called the Omicron Commonwealth.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Is that
we're gonna dig into what that all
a
means.
Is that a Futurama reference?
No, it's not a Futurama reference. I almost wish it was, Zach.
Oh. She's got very much like Overlord like aesthetic with her shirt. I'm now seeing it in higher
It's the
resolution.
braids.
Yeah, well,
It's
there's the braids.
The braids are like,
They're a little much.
dude,
Yeah.
it's inappropriate. I'm gonna say it. It's inappropriate.
She's in the United States.
Yes,
She's a
she
United
was
States of
okay.
American person?
So here's some information about this lady,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna let her tell it to you herself.
Oh
Zach.
yeah, good.
So this is the homepage of their website.
Whoa, this is sketchy.
Crazy.
It says scam alert right at the top. But she wrote that. It's not like the browser's like better watch out. She wrote like be careful, as though like the website itself wasn't like a scam,
a giant warning.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach. Why don't you read out loud what it says in this blue box? I can zoom in if you need me to.
Scam alert. It has come to our attention that individuals or entities are expecting the Omicron Commonwealth name, logo, and website URL for fraudulent and illegal activities. We are deeply concerned about this, and we want to ensure the public is aware of these scams and takes appropriate precautions. These scammers are falsely representing themselves as Omicron Commonwealth and are soliciting money under false pretenses and luring individuals into thinking that they will be penalized for non-payment. They request victims to send money to a specified bank account or via Western Union, as though she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, dude.
Based on the look at this website, it's like she's just doing that. And then
it's a huge warning anytime the front page of the website is says scam alert.
Yeah.
Just at the very top. And then here's an official disclaimer. Omicron Commonwealth is taking this opportunity to clarify the narrative being posted by various unofficial sources. While it is true that members of the Omicron Commonwealth are either past employees or current employees of the Department of Defense Navy, Omicron Commonwealth and Omicron RPI are not sanctioned by or affiliated with the U.S. Navy in any capacity. Any work, data, or information performed and released by Omicron Commonwealth is the sole property of Omicron Commonwealth and is neither supported, confirmed, or property of the U.S. Navy.
Some dude that works there was like, listen, lady, I'll make your weird HTML website, but I cannot let my boss in the Navy know that I did this. He's like, we need a disclaimer or something because this is scammy. It looks like she needs a lesson in color theory a bit, you know, the whole like, it looks like an old MySpace page or like a Zanga or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not the most inviting or easy to parse.
No, I was about to call it. I was like, does it have a number of visitors counter? And it does because it was made in the 90s.
Okay, yeah, it has a number of visitors counter, but it also has a countdown to cosmic revelation.
Whoa!
And you guessed it, in 993 days, 21 hours, 46 minutes, and 23 seconds of this recording, cosmic revelation is going to happen, dude.
She's just going to belly flop in the Pacific Ocean and send tidal waves across the world. She's She's like, I will ensure that there's a cosmic revelation. If the aliens won't show themselves, I'm going to reveal them myself.
Hold up.
so
It's going to be
funny.
October 4th, 2027.
October 4th of 2027.
So
dude.
Jagoff Nation, we'll be
Mark
back.
your calendars.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on here, dude. One of the more interesting things I found was under this prophecy tab. There was this thing called the Earth Prophecy Part 1.
Whoa.
And this is like parsing something that is like, it mentions Hitler and like Russia and
It starts out with like a Shakespeare
the Roman
line.
Empire, dude. Like, this is like some pilled ass shit. Like,
This is
it
wild.
talks about the Third Reich and
Whoa.
stuff, and like this term has been referred
Talks
to.
about the fourth one too.
Yeah, the Fourth Reich, exactly. Yep, kind of alarming.
Prophesized. Nazi.
I don't think any of us had heard of a fourth one. Do
Yeah.
you have something you'd like to admit?
I love the word prophesized before
Yeah.
Nazi. It's just
Yeah.
So she was alive before the Nazis and guessed that they were going to be Nazis?
No. This is a prophecy that was written 6,000 years before the appearance of Jesus, and like there's all
Well-
these different animals that are supposed to represent like all these different countries and the Roman Empire and dude, the funniest part I think is this bit about how there's gonna be a fucking confederacy of 4 nations: Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan. I don't know if you guys know anything about the relationship between Pakistan and India, but I don't think they're going to be joining a confederation of states with each other anytime soon. No. I don't think that that's going to be happening. I'm not an expert on the situation, but I think it's safe to say there's no Pakistani Indian like unification.
I think that's safe to say as well. They're definitely not going to form the foreheads of the leopard.
Exactly. Yes. It's nonsense. Like, I read this entire thing, dude, and I have to tell you that, like, I thought like maybe we should read this on the podcast.
No.
But at a certain point, I was like, I can't read this because it's nothing. Like, it literally
it's jargon
is
for
nothing.
jargon. I tried to read some when Jake sent it to me, and my brain just like shut off and tried to restart. And then when I tried to read it again, it did the exact same thing.
And so it's.
But what you guys aren't acknowledging is that is the reset that you needed. Okay, that's the whole point of the document. It's supposed to hardwire your brain. You need some rewiring. Okay, you're like, the U.S. school system has been brainwashing you guys, and you need to read that document 11 times through until your brain is fresh and smooth.
This is why I knew that you would be perfect for this episode, because I was like, Zach is in tune to like his more spiritual side, a little woo woo, dude. You're a little woo woo.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm into the occult.
You're not an idiot, though. You know what I mean? This lady and the people who follow her are idiots.
Yeah.
Like this.
I can tell.
It's impossible to even understand. I spent, seriously, man, hours reading this stuff, listening to this lady talk. And from what I can tell, dude, it literally is like Star Trek or Star Wars. Like she just like reinvented the wheel, basically.
I see.
Of like every sci-fi thing ever. And we'll get into it, but first I want her to kind of explain. This is a clip that I'm going to play from. You'll notice it's the same interviewee. His name is Emery Smith. I did a free trial to Gaia TV so that I could watch this entire. I watched like probably 2 hours of interviews with this lady, and I still don't understand any better what her position is.
Dude, if I could just say it too, let that free trial expire, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it.
Let it expire.
I have no plan on paying for Gaia TV.
Let that go.
So here is, in her own words, she's explaining what human and like alien relations are like.
Intervention with human
What the
evolution.
This is crazy. Why is it not playing?
Did it have anything to do with us?
So they say they
Ooh.
She wanted to hike any place she could hike. She couldn't get enough of that.
Is that Cortana?
So that's the thing that she enjoys.
It might as well
So tell us
be.
about the Pleiadians,
Why is this not working? Is it because I have so many videos?
You
pulled
have
up?
so many tabs open, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, if
could be
anything, it
because
looks
I have
like
so many tabs.
it kind of looks like you're the crazy one a little bit. Well, all these tabs open, dude.
The problem is that I couldn't. I mean, I have this timestamp, so I can just close all these other videos because I was trying to screen record these on YouTube, but it will not let you screen record when you have a subscription to Gaia TV on the YouTube app.
Oh.
So it was kind of a problem.
Can't let that knowledge get out, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. They're not
Sacred.
doing this lady any favors with that.
I know,
They
man.
needed to help her out. The camera guy needed to speak up
Yeah.
and be like, Miss, I think we just cut the wide angle for this episode. I don't know. We're seeing like boxes in the background with like pallets and stuff. I'm not really sure like why we're in this bunker right now.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
intervention with human.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead
Give it a
and
refresh. Refresh your
dude.
brain. Refresh the episode.
Please work.
Intervention with human evolution. Did it have anything
This
to
is
do with us?
crazy.
So they say they've been here many, many times.
We can listen to
they
her.
talk about when we used to have 3 spaceports here. They talk about
I've
what
heard
we
of the
call
spaceports.
Stonehenge. They call those transport portals. They talk about the
Okay.
fact that there used to be huge civilization.
This freeze frame of her is crazy, man.
Somebody
gonna go
help their
ahead and
grandma out.
Make sure to screen grab that.
I hate to bring it up, but
That
it kind of
is-
it's giving like when Joe Biden went into that debate where you're like, somebody help your peepaw out. Like somebody get on there and say, peepaw, not now. Not now. You need to sit down. Please. Somebody needs to grab their grandma and be like, Grandma, let's go back to the cabin, okay? Because she owns a cabin in the woods. This lady does for
Stations
sure.
here, that we had major trading posts in and out of here. The Earth was a way station between other constellations.
Okay.
When they had the Great Migration because of Lyran Wars, Earth was a stopover place, so there was many, many different types
take a
of
pit stop.
species here then, and then of course they left from here to go someplace else. So that, they look at a lot of our history in that way. One of the interesting things is we have Göbekli Tepe, right? And they say, well, that used to be a spaceport. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I would not have gone there. But they say to us, well, look at what you do, right? And we do. Our airports have carvings of
Yes.
representative of the
Yes.
area, and we have these tall ceilings to represent space and all these other things. And they said that's exactly what that was, that they're just uncovering the lobby to a great spaceport. And, so then the question begs, what happened? And they said, well, we had a great war that came here. And so weapons were used that destroyed, whole territories. And so, here we
So what she's laying out is like her hypothesis, right? Which is that at some point in time, right, in the past, the Earth had a technologically advanced civilization that was connected to what is called the Galactic Federation. And this is like, the Galactic Federation is kind of a term that's like used by a lot of different sort of like alien conspiracy theorists and kind of, quote unquote conspiracy theorists or whatever. It's a term that is sort of like co-opted by a lot of different groups. Her position is that the Galactic Federation has contacted her to establish the Omicron Commonwealth as a way to bring humanity together and bridge humanity back to the Galactic Federation.
Her. They came to Earth. They could have chose anyone,
And they picked her.
and they picked her.
Yeah.
Like, was she just at the grocery store at the right time? Like, where did she meet them? is what I'm
So
curious about,
she
but,
was, so that her background is she was in the Navy. She worked in, I actually have a clip here that we can watch that is her first encounter with an alien.
Oh.
I'll have to pull it up now. I did have it pulled up, but
Like
then my
she
plot
filmed it?
failed. She
filmed-
didn't film it because she was not able to. She was going to work at a Navy shipyard, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like see an alien. Like I saw an alien like ship scan a bunch of like a Navy shipyard." She tells it right at the beginning of this. Why is none of this working?
Yeah.
What's going on? Maybe it's the settings. Playback.
Yeah, we're not getting 720p on this Wi-Fi, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why. I have good Wi-Fi. This is crazy. Maybe I'll try a different browser. Hold on. Sorry, boys.
all
This is
good,
I guess I should have tried all of these clips. I had pulled them all up on my computer and they were working before. Actually, this is the perfect time. We don't need to watch this lady's video. Here's so the thing that I planned on talking about before we get into too deep with this lady is sort of the like layman alien science kind of stuff, just like general shit, right? Because it's not all whacked out like fucking like crazy people. I don't want to represent it that way. There's like very like real scientific research about, you know, extraterrestrial life and stuff like that, and people who do good work. One of the things that we all probably are familiar with is the Drake equation. You know the Drake equation?
The Drake equation?
Do you know that?
I don't know if I do.
Okay.
Maybe remind me, and then maybe I do.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Brett?
No, when you were talking about it before the show started, I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about.
Okay, so it's I bet it'll ring a bell. It's basically this equation that this guy, his name is Frank Drake. He's like an astrophysicist, astronomer, whatever. He was like, yeah, this is the equation that you could use to calculate how many maybe like living or like other life forms, like worlds with other life there are, you know? And basically like the calculation is, you know, it's like huge. Like it's like the chances of there being life on other planets is like really big. The thing about the equation that a lot of people don't know or don't understand is that it's not meant to actually like be an equation per se. Like there's not really we don't have a way right now to like actually calculate that kind of thing because we don't know enough. We don't even know enough about life on this planet.
Yep.
Is really like one of the
That's exactly what my dad would say.
the sort of like fundamental like issues with understanding life on other planets, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah,
solve our own problems first.
Drake himself came up with the equation as a way to like sort of initiate some scientific discussion at the first SETI conference. You know, SETI is like the scientific extraterrestrial like research place.
Gotcha.
And they did the first one in the 60s, and he was like, I came up with this dorky equation to like give everybody like to like tickle the imagination basically of people, you know, because it is like one of those things where it's like science can't really give us a lot of like answers, and so there are things that like there are aspects of it where it's like it kind of is like you can sort of decide for yourself a little bit what you believe, faith, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, we don't know enough about like life on this planet or anything like that. But what I think you're referring to is the zircon crystals that they found. Do you know about these?
I don't know
It
if I
sounds
do.
similar to what you're talking about. So in Western Australia, they found this zircon crystal, right, that has specks of carbon in it that were like seemingly passed through an organism or like a living organism, because the way that it's like degraded and then preserved in this zircon crystal, they're like, that's how it looks when something living like processes carbon, like a plant or something. And it's preserved in this crystal. It's like the oldest, and it's carbon dated 4.1 billion years.
Whoa.
Which is kind of like, if you know anything about like what we think we know about life on Earth, which is all like probable, that's a long ass fucking time ago. Like that's like before
well before
there's supposed to be life on Earth. And so like people will argue like, oh, this is evidence that there was like life on Earth before da 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 da. It's not necessarily true. We don't actually know where this came from. Now, could there have been life on Earth? Yeah. Like, could there have been like technological, like advanced life on Earth? Maybe, but probably not. You know what I mean? But maybe it's like it's a possibility. It doesn't prove or like disprove that as a possibility.
There was,
and
I'll
that's
say
the thing is there's these guys. So if you're on camp, there was
intelligent life.
Intelligent life on Earth
I
beforehand.
think it was different than what we think
Yeah.
it would. I think it doesn't look like what you
Yeah.
think it looks like.
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I think that that's kind of one of my biggest critiques about alien people, and especially this lady, is that she's just reinventing. Like I said, she's reinventing the wheel. Like it's the least creative. You know, I think that like it's like the conversations around aliens really show people's hubris because we project a lot of like what we believe or like what we think onto what we believe intelligent life from another planet would look like, or even intelligent life from our own planet, what that would look like. I mean, fuck, dude, we fucking murder animals every day by the hundreds of thousands.
You're telling me that's not intelligent?
We did figure out how to do it pretty smart.
You just bop them in the head with the air gun.
Yeah. You don't even need to waste bullets. You just compress air really hard into their brain.
You
If
joke,
you want-
but that is a technological
No,
invention.
I know.
That is
Yeah,
a
No, the
it's
technological advance is when they figured out you could do whippets with the same device
Yeah.
that kills
Hell
cows.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You know you are technologically advanced when you can make yourself stupider with your own advancements. You have to be smart enough to make them, and then you're like, dude, I know too much. I'm going under.
Basically, though, there's these guys who talk about this thing. They call it the Silurian hypothesis, and it's a reference to Doctor Who. There's like some fucking character in Doctor Who.
I'm out.
It's like he's like they're the Doctor Who characters that they were like the advanced civilization on Earth before humans, and that's why they call it that. But it's like it's less a hypothesis and more like a thought experiment about like what would science need, like where would we look and like what would we need to see in order to like find out scientifically, or like if we could find out scientifically. Like, what would we need to do and where would we need to look to, like, find this other civilization? They talk a lot about, like, you know, geological, like, core samples and shit. Like, you take fucking samples from sedimentary rock at the bottom of the ocean. But the problem is, and the reason why we're so unlikely to find that stuff, is that after so many years, because of subduction, tectonic plates, all of that material just gets burnt up and recycled. It becomes new shit that erupts out of fucking volcanoes or whatever. And so like a lot of it gets destroyed. A lot of evidence of stuff like that would be destroyed. And B, the actual likelihood of stuff being fossilized is so small. That's why we have such few fossils of like dinosaurs and stuff. And so really like they, you know, it's a thought experiment, but like the conclusion they come to is like, there's no foreseeable way for us to like figure this out at this point in time, because even if there was a fossil and it was somewhere, like then you got to think of the likelihood of finding it, you know, and it's just everything is so unlikely in the vast ocean, the vast Earth. It's just so difficult to like prove something like that it's nearly impossible, especially right now. Yeah. And so that's kind of like the basic, like that's like what we know. We know to that much is that we can't figure out if that's real or not.
Kind of what you said about how if there was evidence of intelligent life prior on Earth, that it would have been destroyed.
Yeah.
That is the very basis of my argument for why there was intelligent life. Because we know that there has been a lot of great cataclysms in Earth's history. We know that from science by studying the tectonic plates and knowing that there has been a huge amount of shifts in how the Earth has been formed. And so
the
it has
Earth's
just been
crust
destroyed.
has been liquefied by like asteroids. We know that by looking at the moon.
Is advanced
because the
as we are
moon
right now?
has been also bombarded with asteroids.
And also the gravitational pull of Earth has been pulling whatever comes near it for the last entire gravitational Big Bang history.
Yes.
And so none of that stuff is here anymore. I mean, even our stuff is advanced and as like stable as we feel in our society now. If a great cataclysm of that magnitude happened, all this brick, all this stuff, all these lights, this stuff wouldn't exist anymore. It would be
Yes.
turned into dust.
Yes, exactly.
It would all be
just,
dust.
Look at the ships in the bottom of the ocean. Like they can't survive for what? More than fucking? Are there fucking pirate ships from the 1600s in the bottom of the ocean still sitting?
No, it gets ate up, dude.
Yeah.
It gets ate up, and that's the whole thing, right? Is whenever you have somebody like this lady, or on the other side, being like, no, none of that exists, like whatever. It's like they're both at they're both just making conjectures. You know what I mean? It's all conjecture. It's all guess. Like it's all just like what you think it is. And so that's why you find so many people, I feel like, in alien sort of talk specifically that are clearly grifters or like people starting a cult. And that's kind of how I view this lady. She just needs somebody to push her around in a wheelchair. And so she's like, I'm going to I'm going to rope these people into braiding my hair or whatever.
She's definitely not using the Professor Xavier method of using her brain power to pilot that chair.
No. And so it's just one of those things
The
where
boots too. Oh my god.
Those
yeah,
are
the
some curve
boots are
stompers.
crazy. Well, she's in a military outfit.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's
Something
important to
tells me those
understand.
boots are not.
This is a military outfit because her whole thing is that she's trying to prepare Earth, right, to like join this galactic federation, and there's a reason why they need our help, dude. So here's a little bit of information about some of the bad influences on the Galactic Federation that this lady is hoping we can avoid.
Oh.
Why have the Nagas joined forces with the Dracos?
So it's interesting. So we're going to call them Nagas because that's
That
a
sounds like a
reference
slur.
that I have, but they refer to them as serpents. They've told us of more than one species. But I think that the scale at which they want to create their empire requires something just as dastardly. And this is where the serpents come in. They have technologies that they're
shaking,
offering
dude.
to the Draco.
She's terrified.
They have, I'm not going to call it insight, I'm going to call it an awareness of weak places that they can, insert themselves.
Right.
Right, and so I think that that's really, there's a benefit on both sides to say we can take this to a whole nother level that we've never been to before. And that's why we need to start thinking outside the box.
Right.
Dude, so
Right.
it's the aliens and the
Right.
snakes, bro. The snakes and the lizards. The Dracos are lizards and the Nagas are snakes, and they're joining forces. And if you listen to her, and I think that this is important to know about her, she was in the Navy in the early 2000s.
Which is not good.
Which is not good.
That's not good
She's
for us.
literally, she's like, they have technology, they have weapons of mass destruction. Like she's just doing the Iraq war, but in space. That is her entire.
And I tell you what, they're
entire
snakes.
perspective.
They're all snakes.
She's like, yep, they have WMDs, the Dracos. We gotta get them. I'm like, why? Why is this the thing that you invent? Why is this the thing that you come up with? You could think of anything. You know what I mean? You could imagine any version of aliens. And it's just like, instead of picking something cool like, oh, actually, these aliens are going to come and teach us how to survive, like, or like, like transcend whatever, like become, like what humans are meant to be, like kind of thing.
They're going to
And
think
instead,
outside the box just
she's
like us.
She's like, actually, it's like federalism, but bigger. She's like, you know how the United States is? It's like that, but bigger. Planets.
Huge.
Planets, and we gotta spread liberalism, dude. She's like, we gotta it's, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I'm like, why is this the alien world that you're choosing to live in, lady?
I don't subscribe to that one myself.
I love how it's coming from an account called Gaia Unexplained.
Yeah, I know, and it really does feel that way. Like it really does feel like
It's
you
just
get
one-
dumber.
It's in one ear and out the other, but it like mashes your brain. You're like, I don't remember what she told me, but it definitely made me dumber.
Yeah,
I like how that guy agreed with her. He was like, the way he said yeah, he was like, yeah. Like he had
Yeah.
read that whole PDF document.
Right,
He was
dude.
like, yeah, subsection
Yes.
6
Yes.
after the part
the
about
Fourth Reich.
Yeah, to the part about the Fourth Reich. Yeah, yeah. And she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did make you read that. We read it
Dude.
together.
And I mean, this show that these clips are from is essentially just this lady talking uninterrupted for like somewhere between 23 to 40 minutes every single time. It's nonsense. It's nothing of substance. Like she doesn't explain like her ideology. She doesn't explain anything. It's just like facts about the aliens, dude, at one point, and it is very racist too. And I think that like
Oh, she's racist?
yeah, exactly. I think we could all see it coming based on the fucking braids that she has, where she's like, dude, I love the idea that she's like, yeah, the aliens actually told me it was cool. She's like, no, I know that people down here don't like it, but the aliens, they're kind of like fifth dimensional beings. They told me it's cool.
Yeah.
She was like, they gave me the N-word pass. It's all right.
They're like, they think it's weird that we have words that we can't say.
Whack.
Dude, but that's kind of, I feel like that kind of is the crux of like the official Jake and off stance on aliens, which is that it's easy to believe that aliens could exist somewhere. I think,
Have you ever just gotten...
hold on, Brett.
Sorry.
I'm in the middle of the official Jake and off stance on aliens. I think that obviously aliens could exist.
Yes.
Easily could imagine it. Oh, intelligent life on another planet. Duh. I think the thing that I find unbelievable is the idea that they would be flying by Earth and be like, "Oh, let's go interact with them." You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Let's get the lady with the braids on the fucking horn.
true, yeah.
Let's call her up." I think that if there's intelligent life on other planets and they've figured out how to travel all this way and like see what we got going on and observe us and stuff, I don't think they want any part of what we're doing, dude.
Yep.
I think that they
Unless-
see us and they're like, "I'll just watch."
Unless they're so funny. Unless they're like the funniest, unless they're freaking hilarious. In which case they are like, let's find the weirdest lady with the weirdest hair and let's inundate her with our ideas and watch her tell people that it exists. Dude,
I
did you
guess
see that
it is.
HTML website she made? I haven't
Yes.
seen one of those in a trillion years, dude.
The aliens
That
put
was
that
fucking
information
goofy.
and knowledge in her brain. She can only code that website.
She's not doing a lot to represent intelligent life, that's for sure.
Dude, it really is though. I think it's like it really shows how much most people lack in creativity.
Yeah, I mean, you bring
She's
up a
just
good
like,
point.
I'm the military for aliens. She's like, it's the Navy for aliens.
Maybe some of you have heard of it.
Yeah, I love how she's also like, fuck the Navy on her website.
Yeah. She's like, this isn't part of the Navy. I wonder how she feels about Space Force. Honestly, dude, I bet she is tripping about Space
I got
Force.
biffed.
Yeah, she's like, they fucking muscled me out, man. The Pleiadians won't communicate with me anymore.
Honestly, it's giving. I remember when I was a kid, me and my friends made this little card game, and like I got mad at my friend one day, and I went and wrote on a piece of paper like, "Sam is no longer a part of this card game," and I like put it on my door.
Wow.
And it's kind of giving that on her website of like they kicked her out. They're like, honestly,
Yeah.
no, we're taking your idea and we're like gonna go do something else with it. She's like, you can't take my idea because I'm kicking you out of my little club. And they're all like,
Yeah.
you're already
They're
out
like,
of the
all
club.
right. They're like, whatever you say, Victoria. Commandant of the Omicron Commonwealth. I am going to try one more time to see if we can get one of these videos to load, because it really would be worth it to show you
What you have a free trial for?
what I got this fucking free trial for, dude.
Dude, they can hear us talking right now. They're like, we're not going to allow this.
Let's make disclosure.
A lot of AI art in their explanations.
Dude, there's a
of
ton of
things.
AI like renderings of like what she says happened and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
they clearly typed in, show me a big booby lizard.
yeah. Why is this?
It's going now. The video's going at the same time.
No, it's not.
No, it's not now.
Yeah. It's not
Okay.
working. It's whatever, dude. I mean, I basically have explained it to you as perfectly. She says nothing. Like it's seriously like 40 minutes of her saying nothing. I was honestly stressed out because I was like, I feel like I have to play so many clips just to give you an idea of how full of shit this lady is. Like she's fucking unhinged. This entire program is fucking whacked out though, dude. I pulled a couple of other ones just to sort of give you a little hint of the sorts of things that they're uncovering. This is perfect. Actually, this is her. This is a video on their website. This is Victoria Whitney explaining sort of like how she became like connected with these beings and how they sort of presented themselves to her.
Okay.
State, we're all scientists and engineers, worked for the Department of Defense. Fortunately, I'm retired. We do a lot of research, recovery, and investigation. So I have been teaching for 60 years.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's just their audio.
Oh, no, it may have been it may have been the springs on the mic stand.
Whoa.
I don't know.
It was
I
like,
was trying to compensate for the fucking
Yeah, the audio is terrible on this.
Consciousness and
It's their audio.
energies of
That's
the
what it
universe.
is.
I think they're doing like a
I have
nice
group
little
that's with
backbeat
me.
for
They've
her.
been with me for 10
This is her
years.
intro music, dude.
But for the last 45,
Where's the chihuahua?
I have
This is chaos.
Let me see. I think I actually might be able to find it on here.
There's like one soft clap at the beginning. They're like, she's in the Department of Defense.
Oh, there's other people? There's other people.
Oh yeah, there's other people involved. So she's the commander in chief,
Whoa.
Victoria Whitney. Leslie Bush is the science and
Nice.
nuclear engineer officer of
a good,
Omicron
strong name.
operations. Jim Hamilton, old Jim. He looks like
He
shit.
looks
dude.
like an alien.
He
for
looks
sure.
like shit. Ah!
Whoa!
Shadow
Whoa!
Shorthouse.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ.
She's got intern written all over her, dude.
Is it
That
on
smile screams
news?
intern.
Oh, that was scary. That was genuinely scary.
Gosh, dude, in that clip, she basically is just describing they feed homeless people. The Omicron Commonwealth is based in Oregon, and they feed homeless people. And she's like, they presented themselves to us as homeless people and come and like have meals with us and shit like that.
That task force picture in the bottom corner.
Oh,
Jesus
yeah, dude.
Christ.
These guys. It's really, really funny. I mean, the whole thing is like a big sort of goof. It almost feels like too good to be true.
Oh, it's got like they haven't updated the website in so long. Too.
Jake,
You can
how,
just see
how
old,
did you
weird-
discover her?
From those videos on Instagram.
Yeah, he's got a melted algo.
I'm
He's
telling
got
you,
the
yeah,
Jacob
it
Off
just
algo.
showed up. It was like months ago too. It was probably like, I had to dig back to find that first clip because I remembered I was like, I gotta save this for later. I was like, I can't even begin to digest this. It took me like 3 times watching her to like realize how funny it was because I couldn't get past the braids. The braids like were so shocking, and then the
side profile.
and then the side profile reveal is like seriously one of the most funniest pieces of camera work I've seen in a long time because it's like,
Multiple people signed off on that.
and she's I think that she just started a cult where she was like, I gotta trick some dummies into pushing my wheelchair around and taking care of my chihuahua.
Did you see it run up to her at the end there? It was like, Mama.
Yeah, dude. No, it ran up to her and like, they're just. I wish that they would come up with something better, man. You know, let's.
They could have a lot more fun with it.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's like, man, if I wanted this, I'd watch Star Trek, which I do sometimes. But Star Trek already exists.
And also, Star Trek people are just like, hey, this is all about like peace, like within like, you know, differences or whatever. I don't know. I've never watched Star Trek.
It depends on the one that you watch. I think that a lot of them are like that, but if you watch like Star Trek Enterprise, it's kind of about 9/11 and the Iraq War and stuff. But that's because it was right after 9/11. So that's what this lady was going through. She's watching Star Trek Enterprise. She's fucking seeing aliens scan the Navy shipyard. What frustrates me about this kind of stuff the most, I think, is that it's like I said, you can't really disprove her. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to really disprove her because you can't be like, well, I know for a fact that you didn't see that. You know what I mean? Or like, I know for a fact that you didn't whatever. And so if you're just like a dumb person with like not a lot of friends and maybe, you know, your family sucks and you're feeling kind of lonely, I could easily see you getting roped into like this thing that seemingly is like harmless, where they're like, you're in the alien military now, bud. They're like, strap up. We're going on a mish.
Well, that's kind of sort of how always people get wrapped up in these cults, sort of.
Exactly.
Is they're offering them something that they've never had, which is contact with other people.
Yeah, contact with
they're
other
like,
people.
Well, I'm willing to look over some things.
Not be
if I
alone.
get to-
Special privileged knowledge.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, you can know about something that nobody else knows about because you're so special.
Okay, L. Ron Hubbard.
Exactly, dude. It is. It's like Scientology ass shit. This lady, she's Lady L. Ron Hubbard, but a little bit cooler because she's got those sick braids.
She's got to learn how to write better. If she's trying to like look at Star Trek and be like, I can do better than this, she's got to learn.
Yeah, come on. We're the Ferengi.
She's Trill Ron Hubbard.
Trill Ron Hubbard. She nah man, she's a goof. We can't stand her. Jaking off, big thumbs down. This I thought was funny. The number of cattle mutilations, 16,580.
Whoa.
She's like, those are the grays. Those are the gray aliens. They like to do that. They need the cow serum, the bovine serum to be able to make medicine.
Oh.
Is what she says. That's why they mutilate so many cows. But you'd think they'd mutilate more than 16,000.
They do not need that medicine.
Yeah.
That bad.
And what I also think is funny is like we're counting these cow mutilations apart from all the cow mutilations that we do every single day.
No, the aliens were possessing those farmers,
Just,
dude.
it's like 16,580 cow mutilations a year from aliens, and then there's like millions a day from human beings.
You know what's not adding up to me? 4.2 million abductions. Okay, we can all acknowledge that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
not easy to prove that there was that
Yes,
many. That's
yes.
like over the top. But then implants recovered, 38,000.
Yeah.
So you're telling me out of 4.2 million people, only 38,000 had butt stuff done to them?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I thought that was the
crazy.
whole point of taking people was to do butt
Also,
stuff.
show me the implants.
I want to see 'em.
You know what I mean?
I'm
If they've
dying
been
to see 'em,
recovered,
actually.
Yeah.
show me the implants,
Yeah.
right? Like,
She's like, actually, I got 3 of them right here.
yeah. She's like, I put them back in. She's like, I put them back in. I like them. I like them.
I liked it.
Dude, yeah, no, pathetic. If, as you can imagine, well, as you know, because you used to have Gaia TV, a lot
A
of
free trial. I just want to be clear. It was a free trial that I
lot-
did let expire.
a lot of this guy's show is just long form interviews with other people saying some of the most ridiculous shit you've ever heard in
for
your
sure.
life, dude.
Yeah, that's
My
sort of the appeal.
One of my favorite ones I found is this guy talking about the Trogdoborians.
Okay, let's go.
So this is pretty
Cue
interesting.
it up.
What does a Trogdoborian look like?
So a Trogdoborian they are actually much more related to a frog race. So basically they have all those features.
What is his accent?
Yeah, he's from the Fourth Reich. Dude,
We're not sure that he's not a Trogdoborian, right?
dude, I
He looks
love
like what they would
I love this rendering of what they look like. They're just like standing there, fucking butt ass naked. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a D&D character, honestly.
It doesn't, because you can't even dude.
You can't
this
be a
is-
Trogdolord in
this
D&D,
isn't-
obviously.
This isn't high fantasy. This is low fantasy, dude. The reason why this is low fantasy is because it needs our world to exist. You know what I mean? Like the world that this comes from is our own.
Gotcha.
So it's like fake.
I love that they
bullshit.
gave
It's
him a
fucking
humble,
bullshit, dude.
male
But if
body.
he was half a horse or something, then fair game.
Yeah, dude. Well, it doesn't. But that doesn't need our world to exist. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not
High
like this
fantasy
is
rules.
based. This is based. They're saying that this takes place in our universe. Whereas D&D, they're like, this is a different universe.
Oh
Completely.
no, I thought
You
they
see
were
what I'm saying?
inspired from D&D.
No, dude, this is an AI frog man called a Trog the Boring. They're gonna get a different clip of him here.
That a frog has much smaller than an average human, but much bigger than a typical frog that appears on this planet. But they actually evolved from, well, a frog species. So they are also bipedal again, which is kind of curious because who would assume that a frog actually finds a way to stand up and, take a walk? But that's actually what they do.
See, and this is another example of people's hubris when it comes to aliens. Is he's like, who would assume that the frog would figure out how to stand up and take a walk? And it's like, well, why are you assuming that that's like the optimal way to get around? You know what I mean? Like, that's the optimal way on Earth. But maybe in the other planets, they're like, no, we actually can't stand up and walk like that. Yeah, it would be bad for us. It's not. It doesn't work like that on our planet. It's bad to be up high like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, dude, he's like already being like, it's normal to walk on two legs. You know what I'm saying? It's a projection. They're all projecting.
He's got a bias. I can tell.
He's got a bias, dude. He's biased towards humanoids.
Yeah. And then he's like, also, all the Trogdorians, they have this really cool pencil mustache. They told me it was really cool. That's actually why I rock it myself. I heard from them that it's like very attractive to frogs to see that mustache.
Also, his suit game is insane.
Yeah, he does have a nice suit on. That is true. That is 100% true.
Which really brings up my trust in him.
The accent and the mustache combo with the suit, it's like villain vibes.
It is very like university, like university professor gets fucking into a lab accident and becomes a Trogdorian.
So a comic book villain.
Yeah, comic book villain. Or, okay, here's another clip from the same show, Cosmic Disclosure.
Whoa.
And this is the secret world of human hybrids. This is about the alien hybridization program.
Is that Nicole Kidman?
I'm a part of the hybridization program. My kids, the percentages in each child varies. It can be 80% human and 20% ET, or vice versa, or 49-51.
I have 6 hybrid children that I know of, and I have met them. My first son is a reptilian, and I had a really nice experience with him and spent about 3 hours with him.
Some hybrids really look alien. Picture a young girl with very thin, straggly hair, but there is hair. A very small mouth, but it is a mouth. A nose, a tiny little nose, small little ears, a pointed chin.
Some of my kids look more human.
I love the idea that there's like somebody sitting in the background of this interview typing exactly what he says into like an AI image generator, and then it's kind of like that, and he's like, yeah, exactly like that. Perfect.
I like he was like it was a small mouth, but trust me, it's a mouth. I saw them do mouth
Fucking
things
gross.
with that mouth. Dude, trust me, that thing is a mouth.
That is also though, just like anything else, man. Horny people get a hold of it, and now we're learning about this lady being just impregnated by aliens, and her kid's a reptilian, and all this stuff.
You know what's
and
weird?
I'm telling you, dude, it's why would they want to fuck you? You know what I mean? Why would they?
No.
Why would the
though, is I
reptilians be
actually
swinging by?
believe
Not that she's an ugly lady.
I believe that for her, actually. Something about her was way more believable than everybody else, and I haven't quite put my finger on it. It might have been the way she was staring.
Yeah.
She hasn't blinked in decades, that lady.
You think
She's
this lady has a half reptilian son?
Deep down, I'm telling myself not to.
Why
believe
would
it,
they let her
but
off the ship, dude? Why would they let her off the ship?
Because
why do they keep taking her on?
Because she
the
wants
ship?
to bang them all.
Yeah, it is true.
They're like,
You're
you
right.
got to get off
Look
the
at
ship.
that grandma. You know she wants to fuck.
Yeah. She's like, they accepted me. My skin is just as scaly as theirs, and we're
Funny. Oh no, poor lady.
That's brutal. No,
dude.
she's too nice for that. I shouldn't have thrown strays
Yeah,
at grandma.
dude, her poor reptilian son.
That's brutal, dude. I shouldn't have Dude, when did she have a reptilian son? That was a long time
That's
ago.
what I'm saying, dude. No, she didn't, and that's the problem, dude. Is like I don't think she did.
You need to be a little more open-minded, Jake.
I'm open-minded to the idea of a reptilian child. I'm just saying, she didn't have the reptilian kid, dude.
That's the clip.
They
I'm
didn't pick
open-minded to a reptilian child. Cut.
They didn't pick her. They didn't pick Victoria Whitney. None of these people have seen aliens, and I haven't been more convinced because they're just fucking like riffing, dude. They're like making everything up.
All of a sudden, I'm sensing a tinge of jealousy, Jake.
No,
are you a little miffed that they didn't pick you,
dude? I don't think the aliens would pick anybody. I think that the aliens are. I think that they're coming to Earth.
Come on, bro.
They're looking down on us, and they're being like, "This is."
You don't think they'd pick you?
I don't think they would, dude.
Dude, you're a good guy. I think they'd pick you. You're a good guy. You like small, tiny mouths.
I don't think that they would pick me, man. I think they would be like, this guy isn't good enough for our alien knowledge.
That's not true, dude. You're one of the smartest guys I know. You learned Chinese. That's pretty strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not that strange. Billions of people know Chinese.
Okay, well, you're right. Technically, from a mathematical perspective, it's not even remotely strange. But it is strange that you know how many people know English and Chinese.
A lot of people.
Really?
Like a lot of people in China, especially.
Yep.
Oh, wow. But statistically, there's more people there.
I appreciate what you're trying to say, dude, but this is my whole point.
How many Americans know Chinese? Okay, that's unique. Come on, I'm going to get you with that one.
I actually bet that there's more than you would think. Yeah. Millions.
Millions, Jake.
Yeah,
come
millions.
on, quit the cap. Stop the cap.
Millions, dude. You don't
Stop
think
the
there's
cap.
millions of Chinese Americans that know Chinese?
Chinese Americans, yes. People who grew up with Chinese in their household. I guess
you're talking about white people, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about people who look like you.
Yeah. How many people from Kansas know
Okay.
Chinese?
Yes. There you go.
How many people?
There you go.
How many people who were born in Kansas speak Mandarin
that's
Chinese?
What I'm talking about.
Not as many. Not as high of a percentage as. I bet it's not as high.
They don't teach that in Kansas schools.
You're actually not allowed. It's illegal. It's the sacred knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think they would pick me. I don't think they would pick anybody, dude. I think that they would fly by, they'd see what we going on, and they'd be like, these guys can't even live harmoniously with the life on their planet. How are they going to do so with, like, life in the galaxy? You know what I mean?
I mean, it is the classic Twilight Zone episode where they, like, fuck with the people in the neighborhood's lights and they turn them against each other. Or the people naturally turn against each other. And then they're like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. We're not ready, dude.
See, I think
that's why we can't know about the
aliens. I think they do mess with us. I think they do. I think they like it. I think they do it because, dude, you have to admit, bro, if you, like, let's pretend aliens exist in the kind of way we think of them, which is that, like, they live long lives. I'm not assuming that aliens have, like, lives of, like, 3 years or something like that. Like, they live out, if they're, like, 5-dimensional beings, they live outside the confines of time as we know it, right?
Yeah.
You don't think that shit is boring?
Yeah.
That shit is boring. Come on. They got to have some fun, dude.
Yeah, ding dong ditch.
Dude, literally. Exactly. That is what they are doing to us.
Let's go abduct
They're coming down.
Maybe
they're
it's their
abducting
adolescence,
us,
dude.
throwing us back, and they're like, let's just see how they handle this.
Yeah.
Like, let's see.
You know, when I was a kid, I did this prank with my friend where we caught some fish in a pond, and then we just put them in a random guy's pool. And that kind of is like...
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, but that's kind of like cattle mutilation. a little bit. I guess is what I'm saying. And so I guess I could imagine like a 7th grader alien.
Yes.
Like the equivalent of like a 7th grader alien. Like
it probably takes time
like
for them
that.
to develop their intelligence as well.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah. You know what? I can. Okay. Yes, I think that that's totally possible. I think that that's the most reasonable explanation for alien activity that I can think of is like they're just fucking with us. But I think that like the rule is they're like we are fucking with them, but we don't fuck with them. You know what I mean? Like
we don't team up.
We're not trying to open any of that can of worms. Those guys got a long way to go.
You see,
before we're gonna be hanging around the block with them.
Let's just make them think they're crazy.
Yeah. But for now, we are gonna abduct this white lady with with braids.
Promote her.
She's gonna be the commander in chief.
You know it's funny.
It's gotta be.
It's funny to them. They
Yeah.
have to have a laugh about something.
Yeah.
You know? And I kind of agree with you. I don't think they like want to team up with us or anything, but I don't think that's because they've always felt that way. I kind of feel like they tried once and they're like, that was a horrible idea. Like, we learned our lesson.
Yeah, that's
we
what
have to.
That's what she says. Is so the whole perspective, right? Is like there was this like civilization that of like humans or like people like humans who were part of the Galactic Federation, but then a war happened. And so we think it was meteorites hitting the Earth that liquefied the Earth's like mantle, but actually it was like we were bombarded. Which like, yeah, there's no way to say that for sure didn't happen. But then you're telling me they came here and were like, this one, this lady.
See, I think so. Have you heard of Quetzalcoatl? I can never say it. It's like Quetzalcoatl.
Is that
Quetzalcoatl?
Kind of, yeah.
It's a Spanish phrase, and it's spelled insanely. It's like Q's and Z's and X's and stuff. But it's a story that has been told all over the earth, which is that people brought knowledge to people after a great calamity, like a great disaster. An intelligent life form brought knowledge to people in the form of like a snake, and it's kind of like it has like biblical references a little bit to like the idea of snake and knowledge and stuff like that.
Prophetic.
Yes, and a lot of people interpret that as aliens, but I personally, I've thought about it a lot. I think it was just an advanced human civilization, like we were talking about. I think there was very, very advanced civilizations that were humans that lived. Some of them lived through a great cataclysm, and then they went around trying to share as much knowledge as they could with the people that were left. And I think people interpret that as aliens. They were like, oh, they were just so smart. They were like above our means. They were essentially like gods. They knew so much that we didn't know that we thought they were a different species. But like, they're really not. They were just like humans that were just jacked with the brains. They got big, smooth brains.
But that's at least more fun than being like, it's the Navy in space. You know what I mean? That's all she's doing. It drives me crazy. Why? And she should take out the braids. Here's the thing: is she shouldn't be having those braids.
She's gonna be a long-haired chick, and that makes more sense about her personality. She's just a chick who has the longest hair you've ever met in your entire life. Y'all don't tell me you don't know what I'm talking about.
It keeps getting stuck in the wheels on her wheelchair.
I was going to say it like falls down to her butt crack, but her butt crack goes so high.
Yeah, dude. She's all butt crack, bro.
It's a lot of crack. It's a lot of crack.
Dude, there was a clip. I wish that was working. There was a clip of her talking about how the aliens don't have overweight problems. It's clearly like a little bit of like self-hatred has made it into this lady's like alien prophecy.
Oh, that's
because she's
sad.
like, the aliens, they're not overweight, and she's like, and I mean, believe me, look at me. I mean, she's like, I love good food. You can tell, like, she says that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Gaia TV is wild, man. I can't believe how did you end up with a Gaia TV free trial? What were you doing, Zach? What was going on?
There's a lot of weird people in New Mexico, man. There are so many strange people in New Mexico.
Have you ever had close to an alien encounter, dude? Have you ever felt like you had like a...
Yes, I did have one that was close.
Wow.
It ended up being a lie. I can expose the lie afterwards. I should probably tell the story as though it was an alien.
Bury the lead a little bit.
Okay, so what happened is we were shooting a music video out in the middle of the desert in New Mexico, out in Lincoln County, which for all my extraterrestrial heads out there is where the Roswell crash happened. And we were actually filming this maybe no less than 5 to 10 miles away from where the crash happened. In fact, the person whose land we were there filming on, his grandpa helped them drive the UFO from the Roswell crash into Roswell, into town. He was like, let's load it up, boys. Like, let's take it in town, see what the scientists think. Because this is above my pay grade. I'm just a humble rancher out on my ranch, So we're out on a ranch. And we're filming this music video, and I'm like, I'm the guy, I'm like shooting the music video, I'm like, so in music video world, I'm like, I'm going to go light this, I'm going to go do this thing. And we have our dog with us, my dog Business, and I'm like, hey, could you watch Business? Like, I'm going to go do this. And literally 5 seconds later, Business bolts past me. He runs out into the middle of the desert, and they're like, I don't know what happened, dude. He just like ran away. I was like, you didn't want to like grab him? And they came to tell me, they're like, yeah, he just like ran away. I don't know what happened. I was like, shouldn't we like chase after him? And we just like, he just got away. He's out in the middle of the desert. So we canceled the music video. We spent the next like 2 days searching for the dog. Like it was I was like losing my freaking mind. We're like driving around. I don't know if you've been out in like a desert part like that, but like there's so much like shrub and stuff, and you can see forever because it's so flat that the land just starts to like mesmerize. It's like the mirages and stuff. Like it just like it all starts to melt together. Like you're looking in front of you, and you might be looking like 50 miles in front of you, but it feels like you're looking like 2. Like it all just looks the same, and you're driving around in like a just like dehydrated haze. I probably searched like easily like 10 square miles for this dog, like every inch of it. I'm like driving next to antelope, like, have you seen my dog? Like screaming at the antelope, like, take me there, I'll follow you, magical antelope, please, I have nothing left. But so we lost the dog, and I go to sleep, and interesting part about this property, it's got like two buildings. One of them's like a modern, like just normal housey type building. The other one is like a weird looking pyramid. Like his grandpa built like a weird metal pyramid, almost like a replica of like the Bass Pro Shop in Memphis. Like it looks like that. And it's like, okay, weird, cool. We're staying up there, because I'm like, oh dude, I sat up there and I actually like played some of my favorite music that I would listen to my dog around, just hoping he'd hear the music and be like, oh, there's Zach. Like I'm going to come back. Right. Yeah. So I fall asleep that night and I'm just torn up, dude. It's been like 48 hours. I'm like, that is when they tell you that you should give up the search.
I've
the
seen
first
a show,
48 hours.
yeah,
the first 48 hours was over, dude. So I was like, ooh, this is not looking good for me and my dog. So I go to sleep, and that night I have a vision while I'm sleeping that I'm guiding my dog back to me. Like I can see him. I'm like floating above him in the sky. Like I'm like astral projecting. And I'm like, come on, Business, come this way, buddy. Like, come on back, come on back, come on back. And then all of a sudden I wake up and we get a phone call from our friend. And he's like, yo, dude, Business is down here in the house. And I like rush down there. I'm like, what the frick? And sure enough, Business is in the house. And I'm like, dude, how did he get here? Where'd you find him? He's like, he just appeared here. And we were like, he didn't just appear here. Like, that's crazy. He's like, no, he totally appeared here. Like the doors were locked and everything. And he just like, he's here. And we all looked at each other like, for sure aliens. But I'm so excited my dog is back. Like, oh my God. And I was just like playing with my dog, thinking about it like, did they take it? He looks not that dirty, like you'd think he'd be like super dirty from like running around for 2 days. He looks like he's tired clearly, but like he looks kind of fine, like I was just like, whoa, like tripping out about it. And for months I low-key thought like, yeah, the aliens, they took Business and they gave him back because they were like, he's such a trill dog. We can't take this dude's cool ass dog. Like bring him back, But it turns out he just like ended up at some rancher's place, a rancher's house, right? And the rancher calls my friends like, hey, come get your stupid dog before I shoot the dog. And he's like, okay. He comes up, and the Business is such a rascal. He's like such a cute little rascal, He's always like wanting to play with things. Like we took him in. There's a famous place in New Mexico where like they have wild cows. And I didn't realize that till I was there. And he chased the cows for like miles, and I had to like chase it. He's just like has a strong prey drive and loves playing with animals. And so he's like playing with this dude's animals, and this dude like kicks Business apparently, And he's like, get off my animals, blah blah blah. And my friend's like, hey, give me my dog back, stop kicking him, blah, blah, blah. And he like brings Business back, and I guess he didn't want to tell us because the guy kicked him. He didn't want to tell us that he found him at this rancher's. But I was like, part of me was just like, you could have just left that part out. You could have been like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, I found him at this rancher's and nothing happened. Fuck? But instead he was just like, yeah, he just appeared here out of thin air. Like my doors were locked and everything. And I was like, you were deep in this lie, dude. It's so weird.
How long did he say the lie?
He never told me the truth. So he told somebody else the truth. That person told me.
Oh my God, dude. God damn. That's a crazy alien encounter that turned out to be just an encounter with a rancher.
Yep.
Just a neighbor.
I say is probably like has to account for at least 3 million of those abductions.
Yeah, we're looking at closer to 1.2 million abductions.
I have to imagine that we're bringing it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a good way to end the episode.
Nice. Yeah.
With a little
with
personal
our
touch.
alien encounter.
Yeah, your alien encounter. Zach, what do you got to plug? Where can people find your stuff?
What do I got to plug? Okay, so I have.
You just won a film festival.
I did just win a film festival. Maybe you've heard of it. It's kind of an important film festival for those of you that haven't heard yet. It's called the I Love Independence Film Festival. And that is Independence, Missouri, for the uninundated, the people who didn't grow up there. I'm actually the first inaugural winner of it ever.
Yeah, they're giving you a key to the city.
They actually gave me a super sweet trophy, which
Really?
does not happen. I've won some film festivals before and stuff. They don't give you things. They're like, here's like a laurel or like a PDF thing that you can print out, you know.
Right.
But they gave me a piece of glass that somebody blew into like the shape of a camera. And they like turned it into a trophy. It was incredible. It's honestly very, very cool. Yeah.
Dude,
mad props to them, honestly.
So sick.
It's honestly really cool. They're going above and beyond for it. There's so few film festivals that do like, you know, like cash prizes too and stuff, which they also had for the I Love Independence Film Festival.
How much, dude? Tell us. Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I could tell you.
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
$1,500.
Wow.
God damn.
Dude.
That's a lot, dude.
Oh man,
that was the
that's
entire tourism budget for Independence last year. And they gave it to me, dude. But I did make a really cool video. I made a sick video. Yeah, I did win that.
I watched the video that you made, and it was very funny. Like you know, even took some digs at Independence a little bit. Like, you know.
You're referring to when I said, much like the pioneers, I wanted to pack up and head out west.
Yeah.
It's
in your bones.
It was in my bones, and I
Yeah.
did head out west.
Yeah.
So yeah. But no. So I did win that film festival. Very cool. I do have my YouTube channel with my friend Austin. We make films there, Zach and Austin. And we released my short film, which has been doing surprisingly, I shouldn't be surprised, but it is surprisingly well. It has like almost 20,000 views, which is like kind of crazy. Yeah, not something I was expecting at all, but very cool. It won a couple awards too, and then Austin's going to release his new short film soon, so I guess just be on the lookout for that. We'll probably release that in like February or something like that.
We'll put a link in the description for all our listeners.
Link in the description to the film and to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, dude.
And anything else?
I think that's pretty much all I got to plug. I don't do events or anything like that anymore. We're gonna do a fun event in Los Angeles, actually.
Nice.
In St. Patrick's Day, we're gonna do we do these like fun little like film festivals that are like just our friends that we ask to put films into it, and it's like trying to make film like an event that's more than just about films. It's just about like hanging out with people, having like a theme around the event, and having fun. And then there's also movies here, so
nice.
We're gonna do our second one ever for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Be on the lookout for that. As always, you can follow this podcast at jakin.off.podcast. And you can send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast@gmail.com. I'll look at it at least once. Brett, you got anything?
Learn to be nice to yourself and others around you.
Yeah, learn to ascend. Learn to ascend to being nice. And then maybe the aliens will talk to you. Take out those braids. Take out those braids, white ladies. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.